All right, everybody. So today is going to be Single Seed Challenge 2022 for here in Down Home Backyard Gardening, update number 3. For those of you that have been following this channel, you know that I also am doing a single seed challenge for a second grade class for an elementary school right up the road from me. And their single seed is doing great, to the point that it's actually above the rim of the cup. So let's go back a couple weeks. January 15th, I started this seed in this pot, in this Chick-fil-A cup. As you can see, the kiddos drew all over it and decorated it the way they wanted it, and I think that's awesome. But I mentioned this right here in that video. So when you're filling up your cup, you want to go about halfway in your container. You don't want to go all the way to the top, and I'll explain that later on as I'm doing updates, because I am doing a tomato plant. Okay, so what did I mean by that? Let's go into the light where we can really see what I was talking about. Okay, so what was the reason that I only filled half the cup up when I first started the seeds? Well, if you can see right there, you see all those little fine white hairs all over that stem. Now, all tomato plants get these little hairs. And the amazing thing about this plant and all tomato plants is that those hairs can actually become roots. So why don't we strengthen this plant and make it as viable as possible for the spring? And I'm going to show you how we do that right now. Okay, so last year I also did a tomato plant for the single seed challenge, and I used this method last year to strengthen my plant. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to take pre-moistened soil, and we are going to fill this cup up right underneath those bottom leaves. Now those are not true leaves. Those are the seed leaves, but I'm not going to cut those off this year like I did last year. I'm just going to leave them. But we're going to fill the soil up right to underneath that. Right to underneath those two leaves right there. Now when you do this, you want to be as gentle as you can, because remember, this stalk is still, tender. So you don't want to go in here guns a-blazing throwing soil in. You want to go kind of slow and then let the soil form a barrier around the stalk itself. So we're going to go slow. We're going to pack it in just slightly, not too much. We'll let the watering process actually form the good solid contact around the stem. But we are going to put new soil in here. And I'm making a mess, but hey, we're gardening. And I can't be outside because it's cold. I can't be in the garage because it's cold. So we'll do it right here in my house, which is fine. No big deal. Okay, so we're just going to keep packing this in until I get right underneath these two little leaves right here. Okay, and there we are. Now I just put in about another 3 to 4 inches of soil packed around that stem, and all those little white hairs that I showed a minute ago will then become roots. And the good thing about that is that now we've got soil from about where my thumb is all the way down. So whenever we transplant this out into the garden for its final spot for the rest of the season, now my root system's not just this big, it is now that big, from thumb to thumb. So there's going to be nothing but a bunch of really strong roots in here. And when I plant it, those roots will then go out and make this plant super, super strong. So that is why when you start your single seed challenge, or any seed in a cup like this, you never fill it all the way up. Always go about half. So when the tomato plant grows, you can then add and then create more of a root system. Okay, and there you have it. A simple, easy trick that took me 2 minutes to do to help strengthen any tomato plant that you're gonna grow. Especially if you're starting from seeds inside. So yeah, that's the video and that's the update that I have right now for the Single Seed Challenge 2022 for the kiddos second grade classroom plant, which again is called Moonlight. That's the name that they gave this plant. The great thing about once you start the Single Seed Challenge and your plants start to grow, you can start producing video. You can start producing a lot of videos, because remember that the whole point of the Single Seed Challenge is to document the entire life cycle of that seed. So every time there's a milestone, knock out a video, throw it up, let us all here on YouTube in the garden community check it out. And that way we can just continue to help each other, strengthen each other, root and cheer for each other, which is what this challenge is all about. But hey, that's all I got for y'all today. If y'all enjoyed this video, please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And for everyone for all the new subscribers, thank you all very much. I really do appreciate it. And I plan on just continuing what I started last year and just building and building and building for this year, for this growing season also. So again, thank you all. And as always, check me out on Facebook and Instagram, Down Home Backyard Gardening. And as always, shine bright and harvest hard.